A recent study analyzed the relationship between body fatness and physical attractiveness in men. And what the study found is that 12% body fat is the most ideal when it comes to attracting women. Now, 12% body fat is lean, especially compared to where the average male sits in today's society. Most men are overweight, carrying around a lot of extra body fat on their frame. I myself practice trying to maintain around 12% body fat year round, and I've done it consistently now for a couple years. And so I'm going to show you exactly how I eat and the little tips and tricks that I use throughout the year in order to stay lean. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, it is just that time of year where people really struggle to stay lean. With Thanksgiving, with Christmas, with New Year's, it seems like every single week you are constantly getting berated with a bunch of food that you really want to consume. And you're probably getting told by friends and family members, oh, relax a little bit, have a little bit of food, indulge once. The holidays only come around once a year. But the truth is, there are holidays all throughout the year, whether it's 4th of July, whether it's Easter, whether it's Halloween. Every single time of the year has its specific festivities. And if you are not careful, if you don't learn to practice restraint during this time, if you do not stay consistent with the habits that I'm going to talk about in this video, you are going to find yourself slipping on a regular basis. These are things that you have to keep up even when you are going through a period of being exposed to a ton of different goodies. So here are the different principles that I live by. Number one, make sure you prioritize your protein first. When I wake up in the morning, I have 1.5 servings of non-fat Greek yogurt, as well as a scoop of protein powder. This automatically gives me about 65 to 70 grams of protein starting off the day. So I don't have to scramble to try to get my protein in later in the day because I had a very carb-filled breakfast. Instead, I'm automatically ahead when I wake up in the morning after my first meal. And a lot of people, you will notice, tend to have breakfasts that are much higher in carbs. Why would you eat carbs so early in the morning? When you eat carbs and you aren't incredibly active, what tends to happen is your blood sugar levels will spike. And it'll make you feel really tired. And carbs are not the enemy. That is not what I want you to hear. Some people will hear me say, I avoid carbs in the morning. And they'll be like, oh, okay, got it. Carbs are bad. No, not at all. Carbs are actually very useful. It's the primary energy source that your body wants to utilize. So if you are very active in the morning, if you decide that you want to work out in the mornings, then it's very important to consume some carbs. But if you are somebody who works when you get up in the morning, like most people, and then tends to be more active later throughout the day, then carbs really aren't of that much use to you in the morning. It's just going to spike your blood sugar levels and make you feel lethargic and tired. Now, when you spike your blood sugar levels, that is the body preparing for activity. And the sugar in the blood can either be used to help you go and get you super active and give you a ton of energy in your endeavors, or it is going to slow you down. This is why so many people correlate eating carbs with brain fog. It's not necessarily because the carbs themselves are bad, but it's because they're eating the carbs at the wrong time of day. I personally tend to place most of my carbs in the 2 meals leading up to my workout, and then eating a lot of my carbs before I go to bed because it also helps make me sleepy before I hit the hay. So this is a very, very fundamental principle that you have to understand and utilize if you want to get the most out of your nutrition. Another fundamental principle of my diet is to keep things simple and easy. Why is this? Well, because if things are simple and easy, and you've made it very simple and easy for you to eat the things that you know that you're supposed to eat in order to keep your calories lower, in order to be able to hit your protein every single day and get a lot of fiber in, then you are more likely to do it. I see a lot of people overcomplicating their nutrition, thinking that they constantly need to be preparing these elaborate meals or cooking meat 3 to 4 times every single day. Guys, that is exhausting. I don't know about you, but I want to spend as little time in the kitchen as possible. If I had to cook every single one of my meals right then and there, I would not be as good at maintaining adherence to my diet as I currently am. In fact, I would probably end up going out a lot more and eating foods at restaurants because it's so easy to be able to just go pick up that food and not have to prepare it. You have to make things easy on yourself in order to stick to what you need to stick to. Like you saw my breakfast. This was 60 grams of protein with healthy Greek yogurt in there, with probiotics in it that are going to help my gut microbiome. And this took all of 30 seconds in order to make. Keep it simple, keep it easy, prioritize protein, and you will notice that you will stay a lot more consistent with your diet. One thing you should probably know about yourself is that you grew up in a society that chooses to prioritize food for how it tastes rather than how it helps you function. Our society is hell-bent on trying to turn food into a drug, not for fueling you, but instead for satisfying you, in giving into your cravings that you have, trying to make things taste as good as possible. Choose simplicity and choose fuel rather than choosing taste with your food. Right here, I've got a high protein Kirkland protein bar. It's just 20 grams of protein while I'm getting a little bit snacky in the middle of the day before my next meal. Now, you've probably heard of a lot of people refer to their relationship with food. Let me tell you how that relationship is actually supposed to work, with you being the master and food being your slave. As in, you are supposed to have control over your urges, you wanting to eat things, you wanting to do different things. You are the person that ultimately has to quell those desires. You have to rule over them, and you have to focus on maintaining control over food. Most people live their lives being controlled by food, being controlled by their cravings. And this is exactly why the majority of people nowadays are overweight and obese, is because they don't understand that food is legitimately controlling their lives. Their own wants and desires are controlling every single choice that they make. Now, when you start to get leaner and cut off the excess body fat, you will notice that people will start to treat you better as your jawline starts to come out more, as you start to get more veins running through your forearms, as your facial features start to become more pronounced along with your muscle definition. People will start to notice it. And they will start to treat you differently, especially if you are somebody that has been overweight your entire life, especially if you are somebody that's been a high body fat percentage for a long time, living in a state of unattractiveness. Now people are going to start to treat you with more respect. The type of respect that you actually deserve, because you are treating your own body with respect now. Now, supplementation is also very important. Identifying the things that you should probably be getting more of in order to optimize your performance, both in your workouts and with your mind throughout the day, making sure to stay focused and on task. And maybe I'll go over all of the supplements that I do take in a different video. Now, what I don't want to happen is have you guys get lost in the sauce, because there are a lot of people out there that would look at my diet and they would say, oh, but Brandon, why do you eat processed foods? A protein bar, whey protein? Why would you ever do something like that? There's chemicals in those foods and they're bad for you. Well, here's the truth, guys. Just because you don't know how to pronounce an ingredient in the ingredient list does not mean that it's something that's bad for you. In fact, a lot of these foods that are processed were actually processed with the specific intention of allowing you to eat foods that do actually taste pretty good and that are easy, but also have high protein and high fiber. Why would you not utilize the science that we have today in order to make your life easier and more convenient? Like I said, I try to keep things as simple as possible. I cook up 6 pounds of 90-10 lean ground beef once per day. And then I eat 1 pound of ground beef every single day. I eat it with these high fiber, carb balance wraps. I also eat a lot of hot sauce. I also eat a lot of protein powder. I eat a lot of protein bars. And although it's not all whole and natural foods, it is quick, it is fast, and I hit all of my main macronutrients. I hit all of my micronutrients for the day, and it allows me to enjoy the process more. So for lunch, I am going to have 8 ounces of 90-10 lean ground beef in the form of 2 burritos with the high fiber wraps. I am also going to have an apple, and I am also going to have a ton of carrots as well as celery. And just to show you how lost in the sauce some people can get, I get comments occasionally when I post my lunches and say, hey, I eat carrots from my fiber source. People will say, Brandon, don't eat the baby carrots. They wash those baby carrots in bleach. You're literally poisoning yourself. And how I respond to them is there is 0 trace of bleach after the carrots are cleaned and then bagged in order to be sold, okay? When it comes to the vegetable cleaning process, you want to get rid of harmful bacteria that's on there. So overall, the message here is take things seriously, but not too seriously. Many people will shame me for drinking a Diet Coke every single day. Has a little bit of caffeine, has some artificial sweeteners in there. They'll say, Brandon, artificial sweeteners are bad for you. If you go in and actually look at the studies where rats were harmed by artificial sweeteners, it's the essential of drowning the rats. The concentration that they use in these studies is ridiculous. I'd have to drink thousands of these in a day, which wouldn't even be possible for me to actually get hurt by the aspartame sweetener that is inside of here. And the truth is, water is extremely dangerous. And I would probably die of water consumption, of drinking too much water, before I actually get hurt by the artificial sweeteners that are inside of Coke. If I tried to drink it up to the point where the artificial sweetener would actually be dangerous, the water would be more toxic than the actual aspartame. Use the tools that we have in order to help yourself stay lean. Drinking these curbs my appetite. It helps me not eat quite as much. It makes me feel more full. And so does eating high protein and high fiber. All right, you guys, dinner is going to be the biggest meal of the day. Now, I'll usually switch this up a little bit on weekends. Lately, I've been going to Texas Roadhouse where I'll order an 11-ounce sirloin steak along with 3 to 4 sides of fries. You can calculate how many potatoes that actually is. It's a lot of potatoes, but tonight we're doing a night in with the boys watching UFC. And so I'm cooking up 2 burritos. I'm gonna do 4 eggs mixed with 7 ounces of 90-10 lean ground beef up in the pan. Throw it in the same wraps that I used for my lunch. And I also just got back from the grocery store where I picked up a bunch of my essentials. Earlier today, I didn't show you guys, but I did eat an entire sleeve of rice cakes. That's my primary source of carbs, along with pretzels, which is my second main source of carbs. Now, when it comes to filling carb sources, I'm not too picky. I just really like whatever's easiest, whatever takes the least time. And both of these are very, very simple. Even if I'm on the road, I can easily pick these up, grab them, and go. I'll eat more carbs when I actually have a lift that day. So I'll eat about 7 of the rice cakes an hour and a half before my workout, and then I'll eat another sleeve of rice cakes after I finish my 2 burritos at lunch. But I'm gonna throw this all in the pan, mix it up a little bit, and then throw some sugar-free ketchup on there and show you guys the aftermath. And it's the female fight going on right now. Is Dana gonna get mad at me for filming this? What do you think?
You get sued by Dana.
I'm gonna get sued by Dana, bro.
I guess get a place to land and a bunch of free food. Isn't that the most obvious? I was just scared.
This is what you gotta do, is turn it on really, really high and then get it to get crispy. You know, you gotta sear it almost. That's how you do it right there. Ooh. All right, so we've got our 2 burritos right here, watching the fight. Instead of going with the sugar-free ketchup, I'm using the Red Hot Original Frank's Red Hot Original. And there's a little bit more in the pan over there. I'll probably finish off as soon as I'm done with this. All right, you guys, so it is the following morning, but I wanted to wrap up this full day of eating, show you guys all of the macros and the total calories of what I have been eating. Last night when we were watching the fights, I ended up eating 3 of these 100-calorie organic Greek yogurt chocolate bars. These are really, really good, and I try to save a couple 100 calories for evening so that I can enjoy myself a little bit while I'm doing something like watching the fight or hanging out with friends or going out somewhere. So just so you guys know, I did end up eating a little bit more. I ended up eating about 400 calories of the pretzels as well on top of that. And I'm gonna go ahead and open up my FitnessPal here to show you guys exactly what the full day of eating looked like yesterday. So in total, we came in at 3,881 total calories. I logged all of the foods in the breakfast tab here. As you can see, I like having them all in just one place. But we had that Greek yogurt in the morning with the Skippy protein. We had 2 protein bars throughout the day. We also had 90-10 ground beef, 8 ounces for lunch with the carb balance wraps. Then I had 14 chocolate rice cakes, 1 before my workout, and then 1 with the actual lunch. I had an apple. I had 40 calories worth of carrots. I had 4 stalks of celery. I also had that 440 calories of the pretzel sticks later in the day. I had 7 ounces of ground beef mixed up with the 5 eggs and the 2 carb balance tortillas, and then like I mentioned, I had 3 of those fudge bars. Now if we go to the actual macros here, what you'll see is we came in at about 280 grams of protein, right around 500 grams of carbohydrates, and 114 grams of fat. Now I have been eating right around the 3,700 to 3,900 calorie range every single day, and my goal is to put on weight very, very slowly. You know, I've been training for a long time time now, so I can't put on a ridiculous amount of muscle. And so what I'm trying to do is make sure that I'm building about 1 pound, maybe 2 pounds every single month is the goal, to go up on the scale by 1 to 2 pounds. Okay, so every single day, I do not track my calories. I'll track my calories every once in a while to get a good idea of how things have changed. But I usually shoot a little bit lower on the protein than this. Yesterday tended to be tended towards a higher day for protein. I really do try to get a lot of fiber in so that my digestion stays on point. You can see that the fiber is at like 108 grams there, which is pretty impressive. And my body weight is sitting right around 207 pounds in the morning, which is right around what it's supposed to be at. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Make sure to drop a like down below if you did. Make sure to let me know like what your thoughts are on what type of content I should be making moving forward, and if there's anything else that you guys want to see from me throughout my daily life. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.